Today's tutorial is this beautiful wide leg shorts, and I'm going to be using this yarn. It's called Sport. It's 75% wool and 25% polyamide, and I think it's a Scandinavian brand. And I'm going to also use this 3mm hook. So let's dive in. Get your measuring tape and measure your hip measurements. Mine is 55 centimeters, but I'll add in an extra of like 5 or 10 centimeters because I want it wide. And then we are going to make a chain long enough to fit your hip area. Enter your hook into the loop that you've created and make a chain. I don't want to tell you my measurement because I want you to be able to take your own measurement. So measure your hip circle area and then make a chain long enough to fit your hips and add in an extra of 10 centimeters. My chain is ready. I'm going to enter the very first loop I made and slip stitch. And then you are going to chain 2 and work a half double crochet along the chain. So that's chain 2, wrap your yarn, start from the very first loop with a half double crochet and go into the next loop with a half double crochet, into the next loop with a half double crochet, and then work a half double crochet along the entire chain. I'm going to meet you towards the end. I'm at the end. I have one loop left. You are going to go on the top loop, the very first loop on top, and do a slip stitch. So this is our row 1. Next is row 2. You are going to continue without turning your work. I know I usually turn my work. Chain 2 as your first double crochet. We are going to now use double crochets. You're going to put your double crochets in the space between half double crochet and half double crochet, not the loop, but you can use the loop also if you want. So I am going to fasten this video. I meet you at the end of my row of double crochets. I'm at the end of my row. You're going to go on the very first loop of the chain 2, up, slip stitch. We are not turning our work. We are going to just keep working forward like that. Chain 2 for our next row. It's a little bit different, so pay attention. We need 9 half double crochets, so go in the very first loop with a double crochet, that's 2, into the next 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, one more, 9. And now this next loop we are going to put 3 double crochets in the 10th loop. That's 1, 2, one more, 3. That's to increase on the size of our bottom. Then back to 9 double crochets. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and now the 10th loop we are going to put 3 double crochets. This is 1, go back, 2, and 3, like that. You see the increase here and the increase there. So you're going to repeat the same thing until the end of the row. I have reached the end of my row. And this is my 10th row where I get to put the 3 loops. Come in the very first chain 2 and slip stitch like that. The color is absolutely beautiful. I love it. Chain 2, don't turn your work, wrap your yarn, start from the very first loop with a double crochet. You are going to work a double crochet and then I'll show you what to do towards the 3 double crochet cluster that we made. So this is the 3 double crochets, 1, 2, 3. You are going to make a double crochet in the first one, and then the one in the center you are going to put 3 double crochets. That is 1, 2, 3 in the same loop, like that. And then you will continue with your double crochet until you reach another cluster and you do the same. I am going to fasten this video. I'll meet you towards the end. So this is how it looks. I'll meet you at the end of my row. I am getting to the end. After this row, everything is just simple. Enter and slip stitch. This is it. Beautiful. Now you're going to chain 2. We are now going to work normal double crochets in every loop. No increase, no cluster, no nothing. And these are 3 rows. You can see we are now going to do normal double crochets without any clusters, you know, into a total of 15 rows. Altogether is a total of 18 rows. So this is my first row of no increase, just double crochets. You see, no increase even on the cluster. Just enter the loops and continue with your double crochets. And if you want to make your leg space even wider, then you can do more rows of this cluster. So altogether I have 18 rows. You can see these are the 2 rows of the cluster and the 15 rows without cluster, and the first one half double crochet row. That's the total of 18 rows. I'm almost at the end. So now I'm going to slip stitch because I'm done with my 18th row. This is absolutely beautiful. The color is amazing. I love it. For the leg separation, get your stitch marker. We are going to mark where to make sure we have the right measurement from one leg to another, to this side. So I'm going to make mine off camera. Just make sure you have your pieces divided into half. I did mine off camera, so we are now going to make a chain to join to this side of the piece to the other side. So this is chain 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. That is a chain of 20 that I'm going to use to separate my piece. Remove the stitch marker. Enter your hook and slip stitch. So you're going to turn your work from where you were working before, because you don't want your stitches to look different. Like this and this are a bit different. So I'm going to turn my work and work from where the stitches look similar to what is outside. So chain 2 and continue from this side of the piece, going to the next loop and do a double crochet, and then continue in the next stitch with a double crochet and work a double crochet. I'm going to fasten my video and show you when I reach the chain that I created. And now I'm getting close to the chain. You're going to enter in that very first loop where your chain starts from, and then you work along the chain, since we are separating the legs, with a double crochet. So I'm getting back to where I started from. This is row 1 of our separation. You're going to go on the first loop and slip stitch. This is row 1, you can see. And then chain 1 2 and go in the very first loop with a double crochet, and continue working a double crochet until you have a total of 8 rows of double crochet. I am getting done with my 8th row. Enter on the very first loop and slip stitch like that. And now we are going to do a different stitch. So chain 2, wrap your yarn, go in the very first loop, pull through, wrap your yarn, go back, pull through, wrap your yarn, go back, pull through 3 times. So that's, and then do a double crochet. I repeat, go into the next loop, enter, pull like that, wrap your yarn, go back in the same loop, pull, and then go back, pull 3 times, and then do a double crochet. Pull through 2. Again, one more, pull through and pull through 2. Then go into the next, pull through again and again, pull through 1, pull through 2. So that's the stitch that we are going to use to finish up this first leg. I'm going to fasten my video. I'll meet you at the end of the row. I am getting to the end. I have a few loops left. It's a gorgeous stitch. Don't ask me the name because I won't lie. I have no idea. So go in the very first loop and slip stitch. This is it. Beautiful. Then slip stitch into the next loop, chain 1 and cut off the yarn. Voila, we are like 80% finished with our piece. We're going to do the same thing on this other side. I'm going to show you a bit of it, and then the rest you can do off camera. So our first leg is complete. You can do the same design if you want the short tight either. It doesn't have to be a wide leg. So on this side, like I said, you have to be mindful while you work your stitch. So this is my side. It doesn't have to be where you started from. You can change just to make sure your stitches are facing on the right side. So make a loop, you can start from anywhere. So I'll start from this point, enter into the loop you have created, pull through, chain 2, and then work a double crochet along 8 rows of double crochet, and then the cluster stitch. I'm going to fasten my video. I'll show you a few clips. I'll meet you when both my legs are ready. So I'm getting done with this side as well. Sorry, I had to fasten my video to avoid it being too draggy. One more. And slip stitch in the very first loop, and slip stitch into the second, chain 1 and cut off the yarn. So beautiful. These colors are amazing. Our piece is as good as ready. We're just going to fix on the waistline. You can do a different pattern for your waistline. You don't have to do exactly what I do. So I'm going to show you mine, which is the usual ribbing. Make a loop. You can start from anywhere, but I think I'll use the messed up side already, where I usually put my back or my side. So find any loop. I'll use this. Enter into the loop that you have created and make a double crochet. Chain 2. You're going to work a double crochets in the spaces just like we did the row 2 all around. I am getting to the end. You're going to slip stitch from the very first loop. This is it. You can do the piece with, it's not necessary you have to use a multicolored yarn. Chain 2. You're now going to do a front post stitch, and then wrap your yarn, do a back post stitch. If you have no idea about this stitch because you're new, you can always search for it on YouTube. Front post, back post. You can use Pinterest, even Google to find the pattern. It's very easy. So I'm going to first end my video. I meet you when my front post and back post stitch is ready. So yeah, I did 5 rows of this stitch. It makes it easy to pass through your string, your waistband, any version that you want to use. It can be strings, it can be elastic band, anything. It can be a chain. So whatever you want to use for your waist, it's easy to pass it through without it looking cluttery. So I am done, and I have perfect. I have 5 rows of the ribbing. My piece looks absolutely beautiful. I'm going to try to use a waistband to make this piece. So I don't want to show you much because I want you to use choices that are comfortable for you to fix your waist. Like I suggested, you can do elastic band or a crochet string.